Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk about weapon mounted lights. It's something that it's important, obviously having the means to identify a potential threat or target in a low light scenario. However, uh, there's been a push in or within the 2A community, a specific group that are elitists. And just because you have a Rain 3.0 or the new Surefire dual fuel turbo, I'm not saying that you're an elitist because you have those. There are certain individuals within the community that will push the notion that it's either this or nothing at all. And maybe that might be the case if you work in a professional setting and you're often, out on patrols, or, you're a cop and on a SWAT team, or you're a military member where you do a lot of high speed stuff and you need that reliability and you need that level of output. But coming from a civilian standpoint, uh, the chances that we're going to have, that we need rather, to spend that type of money on something that's going to provide illumination, typically in close distances, I don't think that it's necessary. So today I want to talk a little bit about some of the options that we have, some that I've used personally. A couple were lent to me, but I think every one of these are really good options, and you're gonna start out right about the $80 price point all the way up to $400. So to keep this as short as possible, I'm gonna jump right into it. So the first one we have here is this guy, and I'll roll in footage of each light so you get a good visual of what I'm talking about. This is the Streamlight Pro Tac Rail Mount 2. Now, the Rail Mount 2, you can usually get these on sale for right around 80 bucks, or the 80 to $90 price point. They're a really good light. It's 625 lumen at a 22,000 candela output, but it is a really good uh, price to performance, especially for somebody who lives in a densely populated area where you don't have super long sight lines. 100 yards and in, this thing is going to give you all the light you really need. Uh, there's going to be people who talk about, the ability to blind somebody with it, or, maybe it's not as tight of a hotspot, or maybe it's got too much flood for their preference, or whatever the case may be, or spill rather. But these are gonna work. I've used these for years. I have these on multiple rifles, and I've never had one fail. Nice thing about these, besides the price point, is it's got a really small form factor. So it's short. It's not dual fuel compatible, so you're relegated to just having CR123As on you. But these are really good lights, and for the money, they do a really good job, especially if you're primarily uh, working within, you know, confined areas. This is gonna handle everything you need. The next light up is an offering from Goonbeam. So I got three offerings from Goonbeam, and I'll talk about each one of them. This one, this one is the V1. So this is one of two weapon mounted lights that are white light that they offer. You have the V1 and the V2. The V1 is more focused on candela. So this is a 700 lumen light with a 80,000 candela output. I would say it's pretty close to that compared to what I've seen. Uh, this is going to be a first part. The second part is going to be me at the range checking these lights out at 200 yards. I already filmed that, so stay tuned for that. But these go on sale right around $110. Right now you can find them for about $129 if they're in stock. They usually go out of stock pretty quickly. But if you're looking for something that's got punch to get you out to distance, from what I've seen, this can handle punching out to 200 yards and be very effective. Again, that Raw power output is neutered with it being only 700 lumen, but uh, it does have that high candela, which is pretty nice. So very tight hotspot for what it is. Not a whole lot of spill, but it is usable. Pretty good. And like the previous light, this one comes with the pick mount, comes with a battery. That one comes with the two CR123As, and I believe it does come with a pressure pad and all that. I don't really use the pressure pads or nose. These come with the pressure pad. It's built on HLX body, so you have some compatibility there. This is dual fuel compatible, so it'll run off 123As or see the 18650s. Pretty good light, and it is Scout mount compatible, just like the Rail Mount 2 is, previous light. Next up is an offering from Streamlight. This is the HLX handheld. So you have the weapon mounted version, and then you have the handheld version. They're essentially the same light. The older models, like what I have here, were 1000 lumen at 27,000 candela. Pretty good performance, especially for the cost. You get these down in the low hundreds. I've seen these. This one I think I bought for like 89 bucks on sale from Primary Arms. This is just a handheld model on an Odin Works 1-inch light mount for M-LOK. Pretty good. It's more floody. It does have some punch, but it's more of a floodlight, obviously, with it having a lower candela output. But these are another offering that gives a lot of performance for the cost, and they're pretty damn reliable. I've used these for years. I've been using Streamlight products since '08, and I've only ever had two fail, and they were the tail caps on the Stryon lights. So these have been really good, and again, if you're doing a lot more close in, this is going to be pretty good. This one's going to get you out to 100, maybe 125 yards with pretty good performance. So it is dual fuel compatible. So these originally come with the CR123As, but you can use 18650s or the Streamlights versions, a version of the 18650. I forget what it is. I'll annotate in the video. I think it's like the BL21 something. Next up is an offering from Nightstick. So this one here is the LGL 160. It's a very nice light. I like the footprint of it, the aesthetics, the whole 9 yards. It is dual fuel compatible. So I've tried it with CR123As and 18650s, and they work. It works reliably. Pretty good performance. So it's 1100 lumen at, I think this one was 25,000 candela, something like that. You'll see. I'll give you all the details in the follow-up video where I show the performance at the range, but it works very well. Price point, you get them right around 120 bucks when you get them on sale. But this is a pretty good light. It does come with a pressure pad. Pressure pad's but it does come with a pressure pad. It just feels a little cheap to me. However, it does come with it again. The one caveat to this is that it looks like it's Scout mount compatible, but it's not. It's slightly shorter in width than Scout mount output, so you would have to get the 45-degree offset mount from Nightstick to have this compatible. I think Flashlight, Dealer, Depot, whatever, they sell them. That's where I got this one from. But it's a pretty good light, pretty good performance to the price point. Moving on to this guy. This is another Streamlight product, and this is the newer Streamlight HLX Pro. So last year they came out with the I don't know if it was the HLX 2 or the Pro Tac 2, whatever it is, 2000 lumen, but it had really low candela, and it was heavy as hell, big as hell. I don't know what they were thinking with releasing that light, but it was it was not a good light. It's still not a good light. Uh, in this case, this is actually a very good light, and it is a step up from the original HLX. So it's still capped at 1,000 lumen for the raw power output, but the candela has essentially been doubled to 50,000 candela. So it's a really good light. It is dual fuel compatible, and now they come with the new tail cap, which is their jack cap. So it gives you the ability to run a pressure pad or remote switch while still maintaining a button as a redundancy. So you can still use the button, which I'll show you here. There's the button, and then you have the crane plug in the back. Now, I did talk to Streamlight about this, and they didn't really confirm that it could work with a crane spec plug, because it looks like it. Their plug kind of looks like it. So I have their plug here, which it comes with the remote switch and a pick mount, as well as an offset 45-degree M-lock mount. So as you can see, this is the original, or this is the pressure pad that comes with it. So no problem working there. Problem is, it's a little bit of a loose fit. I don't like how easily it pops right out, and I can see that getting pulled out incidentally. But what I got here is, this is a crane spec plug. Plugs right in, and you could probably hear that. Hold on. It snaps right in. It's really, really tight, and it works. So if something was, if you were interested in this light, but you were a little weary about whether it would work with a crane plug, now you know it works with a crane spec plug. Really good light. Again, dual fuel compatible. So 18650 CR123As, and it comes with all the goodies. And the fact that it comes with an offset 45-degree mount for M-lock is pretty nice. Now these are right around 150 bucks. I've seen them on sale down around 120 price point for the CR123A models. It's the same model, just one comes with the CR123As, and the other one comes with the rechargeable battery, their version of the 18650. Next up is another offering from Goonbeam. This is the V2. So the V2 is going to be more in line with the HLX Pro. So you're going to have 1400 lumen at 55,000 candela. In the video, you'll see they're pretty well matched between this and the HLX Pro. But it is a good light, and again, it comes with the pick mount. It is Scout mount compatible and dual fuel compatible. It does come with a charger for the 18650 that is included, so that's a good thing, as well as damn cat, shut up. But these are pretty good, and I like the fact that they include the O-ring to insert on the back half of the battery, because these are known, the HLXs were known to flicker because they don't have a spring on the front. That Viton spring helps with that. It eliminates all the flickering. This one here is another offering from Goonbeam. This is their assault flashlight. So it's meant to be a handheld flashlight, but after talking to them through email, they assured me it would work on a AR-15. This is what I have it mounted on, and they have a couple AR-15s with this. The nice thing about it is the head could actually be used on a Scout body. So if you have a Scout light body, this will work on it. There's a collar you'll have to get, a ring, to help with having that continuity with connection. And they'll send it out to you, no problem. I've used it on two different ones. I've used it on a Surefire body, and then I used it on another company that makes their type of body. I'll annotate in the video. But this one is coming in at 1800 lumen at 110,000 candela. So it's a really high output light. And you'll see in the video, it's actually pretty impressive what you're getting. I got this on sale for about 109 bucks. And they often go on sale for $129. Or they're often listed at $129, but I've gotten them on sale for $109. Really good option. I believe this is not dual fuel compatible. I think this one has a flat top 18650. It does come with a dual battery charger, and it comes with the stuff to run it as just a handheld, so you can run it with a pistol if you needed to. It's got these rings or these collars on the back half, so you can expose as much as you want or recess the button by switching out these collars on the back half. But these are actually really good lights, and I've used this for about a year now. Taken it through multiple classes. I've taken it through multiple competitions. Thousands of rounds on this light, and it still keeps going. So really good light. And then for the most expensive one, it's the only high dollar light that I can get my hands on. And thanks to my buddy Mike for lending me this in the HLX Pro. This one here is the M640 dual fuel turbo on the Scout Pro. So Scout Pro has the little tab that swaps out on the light body, and then you could swivel it and position it where you want to and just tighten up that little screw there. I'll roll in pictures for you. But this one's an interesting light. I've had a love-hate relationship with Streamlight over the years, or not Streamlight, Surefire. I like the performance from some of the Surefire lights. I've never loved the price. I didn't think that their prices were warranted, especially when you start getting into all the stuff you have to get for the add-ons. So if you wanted to change out the tail cap, if you wanted to get a different pressure pad, all that other stuff, you're going to spend big money on those things. So the light is going to cost $300 to $400 depending on the model you get. And then you're going to spend another couple $100 trying to outfit it the way you want to. And I know that they've had some QC issues in the past with some of their products. I've experienced it with an older 640 that was more of a flood and not a thrower. But this one is actually pretty impressive because it's a 700 lumen light pumping out 100,000 candela. And it performs very well. I was honestly super surprised by how well it took advantage of that 700 lumen, maximizing the candela output and how far you could punch out. So definitely a good light, but MSRP on this is $399. Now you can find them used for cheaper. Sometimes they go on sale for cheaper, but you're still going to end up spending over $300 for this light. Now, this is where I'm going to make my pitch for those out there who are on a budget and want something that is going to fit their role, their intended role, right? So from a civilian standpoint, a life and liberty setup, Minuteman, whatever the case may be, you're going to spend $100 and let's say $29 on this, $399 on this. So $400, $399.99. Excuse me. 700 lumen, 80,000 candela. 700 lumen, 100,000 candela. In the video, and you'll see this in part 2, they're pretty well matched up. It's up to you. If you want the name and you want the peace of mind that you're going to get something that's built, to handle the abuses of military use, and you have the money that you can put down on this, or something like the Rain 3.0 from Cloud Defensive, by all means, if you have the means to do it and that's what you want, do it. But if you're in a position where money's tight and you're working within a budget, consider your options. Don't get nudged into making a high dollar purchase that you can't afford because certain individuals are pushing you into that, or telling you that, well, if you're not running a Rain 3.0, you're not running one of these, the dual fuel turbo, then, you know, basically you're running Chinese crap or whatever the case is, because the elitism that's infecting the 2A community is just running rampant right now. If don't fall for that. Do your research, look up other people's videos, go into depth in terms of what you think that you're going to need for your intended role, for your area. So wherever you live, if you live more out in the sticks where you got a lot more open land and you can reach out further and see things further at night, maybe looking for potential coyotes or anything like that, then by all means, you're probably going to end up having to spend more money on something like this or the Rain 3.0. Depending on your distances, you may have to go one way or the other. But if you're living in an area where, you know, maybe it's still in the sticks, but it's a lot more densely populated by trees or anything like that, you know, this guy is going to save you money and it's still going to perform very well. Now, there's things you're going to contend with when it comes to photonic barriers, and I understand that. This light being 700 lumen is not going to punch through photonic barriers as well as something like the Rain 3.0. And it's not so much the candela, but the power output in terms of the lumens. So you're probably going to get very similar output with this light as opposed to this light. Now, there's different types of hues in terms of your light temperature. So you'll have a cooler tone or a warmer tone. This one's more of a warmer tone. This is a cooler tone. A lot of guys prefer the warmer tone because they pick up on a lot more detail. I agree with that. The finer details they're gonna be a lot more prominent on a warmer tone light. But again, you gotta weigh your options. If you're working within if you're working within a budget, there's nothing wrong with going with something like this or going with the Streamlight HLX Pro, which I think is actually a really good light for the price point. Nightstick has some pretty good options. There's other options out there. No, I do not recommend the Odin by Olight. They are crap lights. I've had issues with them. I've addressed it with them. Nothing has ever changed about it. It still has the same issues. I do like their handheld lights. I've had some for years that work really well, but as far as weapon lights, that's a no-go. And there's plenty of documentation on why you wouldn't want to go with that route. So I already spent a half an hour bullshitting on this. Stick around because the next video, which is going to be like half the time of this, we're going to be at the range and I'm going to be showing you the output of all of these lights and comparing them, giving you somewhat of a visual to base maybe a potential purchase in the future, or even just giving you a small data point to compare to other videos or other individuals who may put out content like this or anything that will help you in your purchasing journey. So stick around. Next video is going to be following this. And if you stuck around for the whole video, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks.